This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a new red light drink initiative hopes to improve public safety around Dunedin bars. The March climb has seen many Central Otago firefighters attempting to scale greater heights for a good cause. And a wheelchair-bound man has gone on a helicopter flight for a very special anniversary. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. A new way for people who feel threatened or in danger in Dunedin bars is already being utilised. Those behind the initiative say it's a way of hoping to prevent harassment and sexual violence.
Ordering a red drink in a Dunedin bar can help save your life, or at least protect you from harm or unwanted attention.
So red light is if you go to nightclubs, restaurants, movie theatres, you feel unsafe or uncomfortable, or maybe you're seeing someone that's making someone else uncomfortable, you can order a red light drink or show the staff one of our logos and the staff will help you get out of that situation.
Red Light Drinks co-founder Paige Devlin says it came about as they wanted to raise awareness of sexual violence. Max Brewbar co-owner Mark Fraser says they're proud to be amongst the bars hosting the scheme and says it's a no-brainer.
I think it's just, the main thing is that when people come out, that they feel safe. I mean, everybody wants to go out and have a good time, and if we're not creating an environment where people feel safe, then we're going to have less customers. It's not good for business. And so it's an easy one for us. Yeah.
The Red Light Drinks initiative is also being welcomed by Dunedin Police. Alcohol Harm Prevention Officer Constable Stephen Jones says programs like this increase public safety.
I mean, the stats say for themselves. There's a very causal link between alcohol harm and sexual assault, and initiatives like Red Light just really give people the support that they require. If something uncomfortable has happened, whether it be in a licensed premises or even out in the street, they can approach bar staff, they can approach police. Even if the Red Light team's out and about, they can approach them as well. And basically there's a procedure in place to wrap them up in support, whether it be they need to come and talk to us, or they might just need a lift home, and just a bit of safety wrapped around them, really.
Constable Jones says this is an excellent way people can make others aware of easy ways people can raise the alarm without going onto the street and looking for a constable. As when a red light drink is ordered, trained bar staff investigate and decide upon the appropriate course of action. In Dunedin, The South Today.
2 suspicious fires yesterday, including one that damaged a Dunedin flat, are believed to be linked. Police are investigating after firefighters were called to Glen Road just after 3 p.m. yesterday after smoke was seen pouring from a unit in a block of flats. Nobody was inside at the time. Shortly after, they were called to a tree fire in nearby Montpellier Lane. Police say they are following lines of inquiry. A group of firefighters and their supporters took part in an informal challenge in Queenstown. Called the March, the event saw the crews carrying a heavy kit up Queenstown Hill, a climb which is 70 metres higher than the Auckland Sky Tower.
11 firefighters from around the country and their supporters travelled to the Central Lakes in order to summit Queenstown Hill, a climb that's actually 70 metres higher than the popular Sky Tower stair climb in Auckland. The event was organised by Frankton volunteer firefighter Jamie Harris, who says he's pleased with the turnout.
Because it's a greater climb than the Auckland Sky Tower, so hence every firefighter that's here today has come in from out of town, so hitting it out of the park already with the fact that people see it as something that's worthy of turning up for and participating in.
Harris has done stair climb challenges in Australia and the USA and says carrying the full breathing apparatus and cylinder adds an extra weight equivalent to a heavy suitcase.
the turnout kit, as well as what you carry as far as a BA apparatus with its cylinder, is anywhere between 20 to 25 kilos. So on top of the fact that you're getting some elevation gain, there's also the fact that you are carrying that on your person as well as wearing the structural firefighting kit.
Harris came up with the idea for the informal event after last year's Auckland Sky Tower stair climb was cancelled due to COVID-19 restrictions.
Yeah, it's not about first place, it's about participation really. So yeah, not here to raise funds or anything for any charity, it's more so to raise an awareness and just give back and thank those that have gave.
This year's Auckland Sky Tower Challenge is set to be held at the end of May. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The re-emergence of a sexist billboard dating back about 20 years, which markets the Southland Stags, has raised ire in Invercargill. Rugby Southland is denouncing the sign and asking for it to be taken down. The billboard, which is believed to have been put up at a Southland business, advertises a Stags game against Manawatu and uses the words hooking up with a girl behind the rugby stand as an enticement for spectators to go to the match. Rugby Southland say no present staff were involved in the marketing or the approval of the billboard, and they were not aware of its existence. A wheelchair-bound Dunedin man was treated to a flight in the same type of helicopter that flew him to the Burwood Hospital spinal unit 20 years ago. The flight was arranged through Helicopters Otago, which operates a rescue helicopter service throughout the southern region.
Dunedin man Rob Gillan was just 14 when he suffered permanent spinal injuries in an accident while operating a forklift at his father's work. He was unconscious when he was flown to the spinal unit in Burwood Hospital in Christchurch.
I suffered T3, T4, T5 spinal fractures, broke over 11 bones and internal injuries, and left me paralysed indefinitely.
20 years on, Helicopters Otago have treated Gillan and his family to a ride in the same type of aircraft that 2 decades ago flew him to Christchurch.
I contacted the pilots of Target Heli and I told them about my injury anniversary coming up, the big milestone, 20 years, and because they originally flew me to Christchurch 20 years ago, they agreed to throw me in the machine again and take me for a bit of a ride.
Coming along for the ride were Gillan's 2 children and his brother, all of whom are dead keen on aircraft.
Very excited. I've never seen my son leave kindy so quickly.
Gillan works as an architectural draftsman with a good insight in how to add accessibility features to buildings and car parks. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. The Malvern A&P show has returned after a year's break due to COVID-19. And we hear about the Cromwell man who has been collecting pint-sized cars over the years.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear. Go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Welcome back. Dunedin Police are urging people who witness incidents at the town's bus hub to report them straight away. In recent months, the city central hub has been plagued by reports of violence and disorder, particularly among young people. Police say some schools have taken to sending people there to keep an eye on their pupils. Issues include youths being drunk, getting into fights, huffing aerosols, bullying and generally being intimidating. Police say some offenders have been identified and they are being dealt with by Youth Aid, but police need help with the situation by having any incidents reported. The garage at Ross Hanson's Cromwell home is lined with potentially hundreds of cars. Some are collector's items, but all are pint-sized toys which he's accumulated over many years.
An engineering career and a lifelong love of machinery makes for a large collection in a modestly sized shed for this central Otago bloke.
I started my apprenticeship with International Harvester in Stafford Street in Dunedin, and I have quite a passion for the red tractor. I just love tractor work and I really enjoy them, so anything with International on, I'm really into it.
Ross Hanson's collection has been added to in recent times, but many have been in his possession for years, safely stored under the bed. However, during lockdown, he decided to retrieve them, spruce them up a bit and put them on display.
So I made some shelves during COVID, painted them and started collecting these Tonka toys. And I found a lot of people were leaving them in the sand pits over the years and the family didn't want them. So I managed to acquire them and I restored them, de-rusted them, tried to paint them back in their original colours and get them back to the way they were.
Hanson's always had a fascination for vehicles, a passion which started with toys, including Meccano and other items which are now the playthings of yesteryear. In Cromwell, the South Today.
The Melbourne A&P show has returned to the Sheffield Domain after a break. Last year's show was cancelled due to COVID-19, with a large crowd flocking to the Domain recently.
Putting their best hooves forward, hoping to be crowned top sheep at the recent Melbourne A&P show.
We're thrilled to have been awarded the supreme animal of the show, our Suffolk ram. He's a two-tooth Suffolk, some other really great sheep here.
Annabelle Tripp and her partner Roy Veronice run Snowdon Station near Windwhistle in the Selwyn district and won Supreme Champion sheep with their two-tooth Suffolk ram, and they say they're not regular competitors at agricultural shows.
We're in a fairly tough climate, so they're under competitive pressure, so we don't come to a lot of shows, but we're really happy that we've bought a ram and he's done well today.
Cattle classes returned to the show as the threat of Mycoplasma bovis is currently reduced. Supreme beef cattle went to George Climo of Clarksville near Kaiapoi with a 7-year-old Murray Grey cow with calf at foot. Leaston cattle breeder Caitlin Brooks works in partnership with George Climo and says the Murray Grey is an excellent breed.
Yeah, so the Murray Greys are a really good easy calving breed. They grow well and are really good for marking, so people use them in their dairy herds to identify a keeper beef calf and a keeper replacement heifer, so they know without having to DNA, and are polled, so no dehorning required.
That said, she admits there's another breed which takes her fancy.
I definitely do like the Murray Grey. I think they're a fantastic animal, but I do have a soft spot for Speckle Parks.
However, the top animal awards were for the birds, with a barred rock pullet winning both the Poultry Prize and the Supreme Champion Exhibit Award. There are also a host of other events and activities on offer, including a farm first aid competition. In Malvern, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, a shellfish rahui has been put in place due to a parasite, and we check out the weather.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Welcome back. A shellfish harvesting ban, or a rahui, has officially been enacted to help protect the Foveaux Strait oyster fishery from the potential spread of Bonamia austrae. Last week, 3 wild oysters were found to be infected with the parasite, which could risk the entire Bluff oyster trade. The area is a 30 square kilometre zone east of Saddle Point on Stewart Island. Biosecurity New Zealand say the controls will not affect the availability of the shellfish and that fresh bluff oysters are safe to eat. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The new red light drink initiative hopes to improve public safety around Dunedin bars. The March climb has seen many Central Otago firefighters attempting to scale great heights for a good cause. And a wheelchair-bound man has gone on a helicopter flight for a very special anniversary. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Hayden.
Good evening, Sophie.
Good evening, how are you?
Very good, thank you, very good.
Good.
An interesting day out there, sort of a day of mixed news, and we start with some pretty good news today by the sound of it. Dunedin Hospital, obviously, the big project that's going to dominate our city for many, many years to come. Looks like it could be put on a bit of a fast track. So there's major projects that are of huge significance post-COVID can get the sort of the red tape fast track, they call it, which means it should be able to accelerate the process. The government would discuss it, presumably, and hopefully give it the tick. I mean, I think everybody agrees it is a matter of huge significance for the city, this entire region, in fact. So looking forward to what more Mike Houlihan, our health reporter, can tell us in that story.
Great.
Less good news for the Highlanders fans, really. Some bad boys. 6 Highlanders players, I guess, suspended. They might not be using that word, but they've been stood down for this week's game, which is only against the Crusaders, the team you really don't want to lose your players for. Stood down for sort of breaching team protocol. They haven't said a whole lot. I think we're obviously trying to find out exactly what they did, but disappointing for the Highlanders. We know they're young men, and like all young men, sometimes they get in a bit of strife or do things they shouldn't, major or minor. But for a team that holds itself pretty high standards, that's very disappointing to hear. So we'll find out more about that. Bus drivers. So bus drivers have been calling obviously for a long time for the living wage, for a pay increase from the Otago Regional Council. So we're revisiting the issue, talking to them about what it is they've been asking for. I believe there might be a bit of a strike or some action or protests happening tomorrow. So we'll be looking at that again and seeing what it is they want. And look, power prices, that's the story that just keeps on giving. We've got the ComCom's decision around Aurora and how much it wants to charge. If I understand it correctly, it's not as much as Aurora would like you to pay, but it obviously is going to be a lift in power prices for all of us. And for a lot of people, that's going to be a significant issue this winter down in this part of the world, especially if it's a cold winter. So we've got a bit more explaining that from Grant Miller. Grant's been handling the story, a little bit of a graphic again, looking at what sort of prices we might expect. And then the proof will be in the pudding. We'll see what their reactions are when they get their power bills this winter. So all of that and all sorts of extra little bits and pieces on the cusp of Easter.
All right, thank you, Hayden. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Getting with the southern view, angle parking, Dunedin truck style. Looking at the situation, a cooler southwesterly airflow will die out tomorrow, then return on Friday with more showers. Watch out for strong to near gale force winds about the region on Sunday. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, partial cloud and 19 degrees in Westport and sunshine and 21 in Greymouth. Moving to the northeast, scattered showers here with 19 in Nelson and 16 in Blenheim. Heading to Canterbury, cloudy here with 14 degrees in Kaikoura and 17 in Christchurch and Ashburton. To the southern towns, light winds and fine conditions for all centres with 16 degrees. To the central region, light northerlies, fine conditions and 19 in Wanaka. Light winds and some cloud in Queenstown and Alexandra with 17 in Queenstown and 18 in Alexandra. And in Te Anau it's moderate westerlies, fine conditions and 15. To the northern towns, light easterlies, fine and 17 degrees for Timaru. Moderate northeasterlies, fine and 17 as well for Oamaru. Inland it's light northerlies, fine and 19 for both Twizel and Omarama. In Dunedin, showers clearing tonight with southwesterlies dying out and a low of 7. Fine with sunny periods and some cloud tomorrow. Southwesterlies at first dying out, breezy northeasterlies developing later. A high of 16 and a low of 11. Mild northerlies and high cloud at first on Friday, but a period of showers developing late morning with strong, cool southwesterlies. A high of 15 and a low of 5. And looking ahead at Easter, fine for Saturday, strong to near gale northwest winds for Sunday, and showers and southwesterlies for Monday. And in Invercargill, mostly fine tonight with a low of 7. Sunny at first tomorrow with moderate westerlies, but winds freshening during the day and cloud increasing. A high of 17 and a low of 11. Rain easing to showers on Friday with strong, cool southwesterly winds. High of 17 and a low of 11. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.